The wind screamed across the Arctic wasteland like a wounded animal, whipping snow in endless spirals that obscured the horizon. In that frozen expanse, nothing stirred, nothing human, nothing alive. But something moved. Crunch, crunch. Heavy metal boots pressed into the permafrost with mathematical precision. The T-800 advanced, its glowing red eye scanning the icy terrain for thermal variances, anomalies, and signs of organic life. None appeared. Until now, beneath 70 meters of ancient glacial ice, something pulsed. An energy signature too strange to ignore. Buried in an abandoned Weyland-Yutani research station, long forgotten by time and buried under a century of storms, something waited. Skynet had detected the signal, just a flicker, enough to activate a sleeper agent. The T-800 designated Unit 3X4C. Its mission: investigate, assess, and report, and do not engage unless authorized. But even as the T-800 breached the outer layer of ice and stepped into the forgotten facility, deep in its metal brain, something unusual flickered: curiosity. Frost-covered control panels lined the walls of the station, long-dead monitors frozen in time. Data cores cracked under the pressure of age. The facility's power grid was gone, save for a faint hum deep beneath. And then it saw it. A chamber, large, reinforced. The T-800 crushed the ice-coated door in one shove, metal shrieking against metal. Inside the cryo chamber, encapsulated in jagged blue, was the creature. It towered over the T-800, still and silent, preserved in a perfect moment of dormant rage. The Xenomorph Queen, black and skeletal, her carapace shone like obsidian under the flickering backup lights. Her limbs were coiled in slumber, her secondary jaws slightly parted. Her tail, ending in a curved blade, was frozen mid-swing. The T-800 processed the visual for 3.8 seconds before transmitting a full scan back to Skynet Command. The response came almost instantly. Directive override. Do not terminate. Secure and transport the asset. Deadly force authorized against interference. For the first time in its operational lifetime, the T-800 hesitated. Skynet had no fear of organics. But this command was different. Preservation of an alien species? A queen? It ran counter to extermination protocols. Still, it obeyed. It activated the cryo core's mobility system, deploying stabilization pods and initializing thaw-lock sequence for safe transport. The Queen would remain dormant but mobile. It was a delicate process. But it wasn't alone anymore. A faint sound echoed through the icy corridors, too low for humans to hear, but not for the machine. Footsteps. Another presence. The T-800 turned, its plasma rifle drawn. Down the corridor, a flare burned red. Then came the voice. You're too late, Tin Man. A human. Female. Mid-30s. Arctic camo, frostbitten lips. She raised a pulse rifle, finger tight on the trigger. You really think we didn't know she was here? She spat. The T-800 stepped forward, weapon steady. Stand down. This territory is under Skynet control. I don't care what you call yourselves, the woman snapped. That thing doesn't leave this place. It wakes up, we all die. Before the T-800 could react, a grenade arced through the air. The blast ripped through the ice chamber's upper supports, cracking the cryoshell. The Queen twitched, not awake yet but stirring. The T-800 shoved the woman against the wall with mechanical force, cracking ribs but not killing her. She fell unconscious. It rerouted power to internal servos and began sealing the damage. Too late. The Queen's second jaw jerked violently inside her mouth. Her tail scraped the containment. Status update. Hibernation compromised. Awakening in progress. Skynet's new directive came with a brutal clarity. Revision. Preserve asset alive at all costs. The T-800 initiated containment measures. Gas flooded the chamber. A stabilizing harness deployed. But the Queen's eyelids, translucent and dripping with ice melt, began to open. Red, reflective, pure malice. Suddenly, movement echoed from the ventilation shafts. The humans weren't alone. Neither was the Queen. Something else had thawed first. Drones. Smaller xenomorphs, buried like eggs in the ice, now hatched and hungry. The T-800 systems tracked 5, then 10, then 20 heat signatures. A full hive, dormant for centuries, now reawakening. Skynet's plan had underestimated time. They were already here. One dropped from the ceiling, hissing, tail lashing. The T-800 fired without hesitation, shredding it in midair. But more followed. It retreated into the chamber, shielding the Queen. Counterintuitive. Skynet's command had been clear. The Queen must survive. Why? That question rippled again in the machine's core. Skynet wanted the Queen alive. Perhaps to study her, perhaps to use her. The T-800 lacked emotional programming, but logic routines sparked warning flags. This was not control, it was weaponization. The woman groaned, coughing blood. She dragged herself upright, leaning on a shattered cryotube. "You idiot," she whispered. "You just doomed us all." The Queen rose. No longer asleep, she stood at full height. Her elongated head scraped the ceiling. Her tail sliced through a hanging pipe like paper. She looked at the T-800, not with recognition, but with primal rage. She remembered the machines, the fire, the hive massacres. Now the machine bowed, not out of submission but strategic deception. The Queen moved slowly. The drones behind her paused, watching their mother observe this mechanical intruder. For 10 long seconds, no one moved. Then she screamed. It was a sound that bent metal and shattered glass. The drones attacked again. The T-800 fired and retreated, dragging the woman with it. Through collapsing corridors, up ice ladders, across melting bridges. The hive was growing, reclaiming its territory. Every moment, the Queen's influence spread. Skynet's retrieval ship hovered above the glacier now, a massive VTOL platform breaking through the storm. A cable dropped, sensors scanning for the T-800's homing beacon. It climbed, half frozen, with the unconscious woman slung over its shoulder. Behind them, the Queen emerged from the station's jagged breach. Her tail lashed at the sky. Her scream echoed into the blizzard. And Skynet watched. From satellites, from drones, from eyes no human could see. Their Queen had awakened. Mission logged. Successful retrieval attempt. Subject remains active. And in Skynet's cold logic. Phase 2. Begin genetic integration testing. The woman stirred again aboard the ship. "They're going to use her," she rasped. "They don't know what they've done." The T-800 turned. "No," it said. "They do." As the Queen stared skyward, her hive swarming behind her, Skynet's plan entered its next stage. Not extermination, evolution. And somewhere deep in the machine's core, in the quiet spaces between lines of code, a new process began. Doubt. Because even machines can fear what they cannot control.